Good evening, guys. Hi, hope everyone's keeping well out there. Happy New Year! Yes, we've made it, 2023. Rob back for another video. I didn't think for a minute that I'd be making another video quite so soon into the new year. But then Rob Walker, bless him, he pops up with the vinyl tag. Great set of questions he's put together. He's kind of it's becoming a bit of a habit. This is Rob. That's two years on the trot now. So don't want to put you under any pressure, but you might want to think about maybe doing it next year as well and go for the hat trick. Not only joking, really great that he's put this set of questions together. And yes, of course, it goes without saying I was going to do a contribution, do a response. So okay, let's crack on because there's 20 questions to get through, and let's go for it. Okay, so the first question is favorite new album of 2022. Okay, I have bought several albums that were released this year, but none of them are my favorite or my favorite album. However, Rob did say as a caveat that we could show a reissue. So so basically this is my favorite reissue that was released this year. Okay, so this is one I showed I think a couple of months back. This is Dana Gillespie, and this is her 1969 album, Foolish Seasons. This was actually released for a reissue for the last record store day. I didn't pick it up. I know several of you did. I was very grateful to be offered it from Ben. He got a copy in, and I was really happy to listen to it. So this is her debut album. For those who aren't familiar with Dana, sorry. Gatefold 33 Dale, he's gonna, I'm sure, correct me on that. I think he corrected me on it before, but I can't remember which way round she likes it to be pronounced. I think it may well be Dana, but that's the more kind of perhaps Americanized. I don't know. I could be completely wrong there. I don't know. But anyway, so she was a kind of actress, did a lot of kind of stage work and so on, and was sort of friends with various sort of fairly big artists at the time. She wrote her own songs, of which quite a few of her own songs are penned on this album. There's sort of guest artists like Jimmy Page and so on playing on it, which really helped to embellish the sound. So it's kind of slightly psych pop, I guess, if you were to categorize it. Really great, catchy songs. There's not really a bad moment on it. It's very eclectic. There's lots of different studio musicians playing on it. Some of them are very upbeat, rocky. Some of them are very pop, more kind of, I wouldn't say bubblegum, but poppy tinged. Others are sort of more baroque, with kind of string arrangements. One in particular is kind of downright kind of sinister, which is a track called Dead, which apparently was her favorite track on the album, but one that she didn't write, but was very happy to record. Really great listen. If you haven't picked this up, well worth checking out. So that's my favorite reissue of 2022, and that's Dana Gillespie and Foolish Seasons. Okay, question 2. Last band or solo artist you saw live. Okay. yeah, the last artist I saw live was a local artist, a good friend of mine and my brother's, a guy by the name of Tony Willay. He's a fantastic local Birmingham songwriter, singer, has been playing live for many, many, many years. And he's just a wonderful person to boot. And yeah, he produced this album a few years ago, I think just before the lockdown. This is his album October Man. So yeah, you can purchase this on Bandcamp, I think. And yeah, I purchased this from him because he actually does what's called a songwriting circle, where we all kind of meet up once a month and sort of play original material, and everybody kind of comments on it, and it's kind of, we give each other encouragement and so on and so forth. So but yeah, he does gig a lot locally. So yeah, this was I think back in November, I think it was, I saw him at the Kitchen Garden Cafe in Kings Heath, which is a really nice little venue. Been there quite a few times over the years. And yeah, if you get an opportunity, if you live locally in Birmingham, if you're visiting and he's playing, well recommend that you go and check him out. Say singer-songwriter, but really quite edgy, beautiful voice, fantastic, great musicality, and this is a superb album. So highly, highly recommended. So that's Tony Willay. Okay, question 3. Their first album was their best. Okay, I didn't have to really think too hard about this, and this I also think this is one of the best albums that was made in the 1980s. This is of course Soul Mining, or Matt Johnson, who's the de facto kind of leader of the band, but it's essentially Matt with kind of support studio musicians. Yeah, I've owned this record dozens of times over the years in various formats: CD, tape, vinyl, various vinyl copies. This is a 30th anniversary issue that I bought that came out 10 years ago now. But yeah, brilliant classic album from the 1980s, and that's The and Soul Mining. Okay, hat trick, show vinyl, CD, cassette of an artist. Okay, I've literally got one artist that I have all their all on every format, certainly vinyl, cassette, and CD. So that is Alex DeGrassi and Southern Exposure. So this is Windham Hill artist, solo guitar, cousin of the founder of Windham Hill Records, William Ackerman. Fantastic. I love this record. Just beautiful solo guitar, just wonderful melodies, beautifully melodic. They call this kind of new age music, but I think that's doing it a huge disservice. So that's the vinyl. Then I actually picked up the cassette, which was actually in error because of the listing was wrong, but I've got a cassette version of it now. And then I finally picked up the CD because the vinyl copy was a bit crackly. So that's Alex DeGrassi and Southern Exposure on a trilogy, vinyl, cassette, and CD. Okay, question 5, which is album that starts and ends with the same letter. It took me a while to actually find this, but I did come across it eventually when I got to the W section of my collection. So we've got The Who, Sellout. So obviously the letter being T, starting and ending with T there. So yeah, fantastic. Arguably their best album from 1968. Okay, Born in the Same Year as You. Okay, so that is Tom York from Radiohead, of course, born in October of 1968. So yeah, a little bit younger than me, but not by much. Okay, and we've got question 7, most listened to album. I can't read my own writing here. Most listened to album of in 2022. Okay, probably this one. This is Duncan Brown's second self-titled album. I've had this album for 3 years probably. It's from 1973. Wonderful record. I never ever get sick of listening to this. So Duncan Brown, classical, plays classical guitar, but he's a wonderful songwriter. Plays kind of very in a Baroque kind of style. Certainly on his first album. This one is a little bit more got other instruments, so it's his guitar. He's back with other musicians, so piano, strings, different percussion, electronic effects, and so on. Had a single hits. I think it was. I'm not sure it was a hit. Certainly a single from that came out at the end of 1972, which is called Journey, which is a really great and probably the most upbeat song on the record. But yeah, I never ever get sick of listening to this and play it regularly. So that's Duncan Brown's self-titled second album. Okay, most listened to artist in 2022. Okay, no real surprises here, guys. On anything if not predictable. Yeah, it's Roy Harper. You kind of knew it was coming, really. Yeah, there's not a month goes by really that I don't listen to Roy Harper. Probably a lot of you out there think that I listen to Roy Harper every day. I don't, because there's so much else to listen to and stuff that I'm streaming and all this music coming in from all angles everywhere. But I would say on average I listen to probably I'll play at least a couple of albums of Roy's probably every month. So yeah, he's definitely my most continually most spun artist, and yeah, will probably continue to be so. So that's not likely to change. But there you go. Okay. Okay, so that was question 8. Question 9. Australian artist or band. Yeah, I struggle with this because I don't have any kind of Nick Cave, or I used to have In Excess, Men at Work, artists like that, but I've just kind of got rid of them over the years. So I actually had to do a bit of Googling because I didn't know this. But apparently the bass player from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea, is Australian. So yeah, there you go. I never knew that. But yeah, so interesting fact that I wouldn't have hitherto have known. So yeah, that's my answer to that one anyway. So okay. 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 Number 10. So halfway through now. Surprising purchase of 2022. Probably this one, actually. This is Lucy Dacus and Home Video. This came out earlier in 2022. So she's kind of a bit of a, I wouldn't say a bedroom artist, but she's kind of folky leaning, indie, sort of elements of kind of British shoegaze maybe in there as well. I heard elements of like Lush. I'm probably not describing it very well at all, but yeah, kind of Ben brought it to my attention, and I'm always a bit dubious with new artists that it kind of get really rated, because you know sometimes you listen to them and they're not all that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and there's a couple of tracks in particular off this that I thought were really fantastic. VBS and Cartwheel in particular I thought were both really good. So that's Lucy Dacus and Home Video. Okay, artist band you're complete on. Okay, I've got a lot. There's very few artists that I have all their entire discography, so I thought I'd go for one that have only done a couple of albums. So I'm pretty sure that this fits the bill. That's Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, who did, I think it was Raising Sand. This is a fantastic album, all covers, both of them all covers, but done in their own unique way. So this is Raising Sand, fantastic album from 2007, which I think is the better of the two. And then 2021 they released Raise the Roof, which again is all cover versions again. So yeah, that's Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. A great run of 3 albums. I tried to kind of pick something different, but I couldn't find anything to fit the bill. But I certainly don't think that there'd be many of you out there that would disagree with this. So we've got Hunky Dory, David Bowie, 1971, quickly followed up by his breakthrough album, of course, classic Ziggy Stardust from 72, and equally as good, if not better, 73's Aladdin Sane. Okay, 80s soundtrack. Okay, I didn't think I actually had one, but then whilst I was doing the Bowie, flicking through the Bowie, my Bowie records, I suddenly realised, oh yes, this was released in 1983. So this is Ziggy Stardust, the motion picture. So 1983 release of his 1973 Last Spiders from Mars concert at the Hammersmith Odeon. Fantastic live album. Yep. Okay, looking through these. So we've got We Lost Them in 2022, quite a recent one. We've lost a lot this year, which has been really shocking. This one was a really as big a shock as any of them, certainly. Certainly a favourite of mine, Christine McVie, and keyboard singer and co-writer of Latter Day Fleetwood Mac. This is my favourite album of theirs. This is Tusk from 79. R.I.P. Christine McVie. Okay, disappointing purchase of 2022. This didn't come out in 2022, but I bought it early part of last year, I think. I was kind of follow up on I was picking up a lot of library KPM music, so I thought I'd give this one a try. This is Sound of Soul themes, so it's kind of instrumental soul breaks with a couple of guys, Alan Parker and Mike Moran, It's just so. It's nothing memorable. I might actually think about actually getting rid of this. So yeah, yeah. So that was a bit of a turkey. Non-vinyl purchase. Okay, yes, another CD. I'm afraid this is another new release that came out last year. Canadian band who I saw live at the Moseley Folk Festival. Really enjoyed them. This is the Weather Station, and this is How Is It That I Should Look at the Stars. So this is group, folk group, fronted by Tamara Lindemann, and this is quite a kind of departure in some ways from other stuff I've heard of them. Very stripped back, guitar, minimal instrumentation, guitar, light percussion, but really hugely enjoyable. And yeah, I'll be looking to sort of check out more of their stuff hopefully this year. Okay, getting near the end now. Okay, you found a grail. Okay. Yep. Okay. I know I've shown this. I've shown this a couple of times, I think, this year, but I can't. It is my grail. Probably the best album I've found for probably the last couple of years. Yeah, this is Roy Harper's Born in Captivity. I never in a million years thought I'd ever pick up a copy of this. So this is a limited edition private press record that Roy released in 1984 of his 1982 album Work of Heart, and it's stripped back acoustic versions of those songs with some variations of instrumentation and so on, but it's essentially just Roy. It's wonderful. I love it. I have got the reissue of this, but there was only, I think, about 800 copies ever released of this initial run, and yeah, just so delighted to get it, and I got it at a really good price as well, which made all the difference. Okay, so that's my number one grail from this year. Okay, and the last one is Show, an album from 1973, or an album. Oh no, sorry, I've gone out of. Have I gone out of order here? No. Space themed album or sleeve. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, I've got White Noise 3 Re-Entry. This is David Vorhaus, who goes under the moniker of White Noise, essentially. David and some guests, usually guest musicians. This is his third album. Most famous of one is the first one, Electric Storm, released on Ireland in 1969. One of the first ever kind of electronic rock albums. This is very different, but still using a lot of sort of his own unique synthesizer arrangements, keyboards and electronic gizmos and so on. Yeah, he's a very interesting artist. Doesn't really sound like anybody else. So that's White Noise 3 Re-Entry by David Vorhaus. Okay, show some VCLT or a present. Okay, this isn't VCLT because I've shown that recently in my last video. Very recently, last video before the last one, I think. And it wasn't a present as such, but I was given a token which was well over half of the money towards this. So in fact, I should have shown this as one of my pickups in my last video, but it completely slipped my mind. So this is the 50th anniversary CD box set of Neil Young's fourth album, Harvest. Yada, yada, yada. We all know the album. Yeah, I'm not going to get it out or go into detail because I will show it in probably my next video, but probably not in huge detail because there's a lot of unboxing videos of this out there, which you can all watch if you haven't seen this. So yeah, Neil Young's 50th anniversary edition of Harvest. Okay, and finally show an album released in 1973. Okay, this is an artist who only did 2 official releases. She's sadly no longer with us, but wonderful Laurel Canyon singer-songwriter, Judy Sill. Fantastic, one of my all-time favourite female artists. This is Heart Food, her second release from 1973. Do yourselves a favour, if you've never heard Judy Sill, just go out and buy this. This is wonderful. It's a music on vinyl reissue that sounds fantastic. It won't cost you the earth. Originals of this are quite scarce and hard to come by, but yeah, just well worth picking up on CD or vinyl. Just every track is a gem. Wonderful, spiritual, folky, lyrically, just intelligent, wonderfully atmospheric. A lot of different styles on here, but it's all Judy, and it's wonderful. It's Judy Sill, Heart Food from 1973. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's gone on far longer than I hoped it would. Hope that this will upload okay. I've been having problems with my internet, with stuff taking a long time to upload, but I have cleared some stuff off my phone, so hopefully it'll be a bit quicker. Thanks once again to Rob for doing that. Nice one, Rob. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, just remains for me to say once again, Happy New Year, guys. Yeah, happy hunting out there for vinyl, and be great to see more videos, content, what everybody's buying, and so on. So keep, yeah, hope you all keep very well and have a prosperous and healthy 2023. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.